We are now on air. Time for a total takeover.
It's finally here. Welcome to a new episode.
It's about to go down.
Good morning, everybody. It's yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. the Soulful Conservative, the DA, and the prosecutor. And this is the morning edition of the Dan Adams Show. Glad to be with you. Greetings and salutations. And let's go ahead, as my beat in the background plays so soulfully. It is Tuesday morning, April 18th, 2017, or 2017, whichever way you say it. And we've got a lot to get into, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. And let's go ahead and start with something that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about, and that's that congressional race in Georgia. Now, I just put a social media post out right before I left the house this morning in regards to what will be the excuses from the Democrats if they lose this congressional seat in Georgia. Now, they've doled out, had Samuel L. Jackson doing radio ads in regards to pumping up this 30-year-old upstart in the Democrat Party. And I'm thinking to myself, and to be honest, I don't even know who the heck is the GOP counterpart. I have no idea. All I know is this. They're making this out to be like the referendum in regards to Trump and his administration and his administration going forward and what we might see in 2018. First of all, Democrats, you need to pump the brakes, okay? Pump the brakes. This is just one seat. You thought you had the seat a few weeks ago. I forgot what state is in my brain. Like, I haven't had my coffee yet, ladies and gentlemen. Even though the sun is beaming, for those who can see on YouTube, beaming through here, I still haven't had my coffee yet. And you know how that is. Your brain really hasn't formed fully. No, I'm kidding. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, with that seat that was lost by the Democrats just a few weeks ago, and now we have this seat in Georgia today up for grabs, and I'm thinking to myself, one seat isn't going to bring the majority back to the Democrats in the House. So they need to just really pump the brakes. I don't know why they're making this out to be like, oh my gosh, we win this, we're going to win everything in 2018. No, you're not. And like I said, with all of the backing and money and celebrity and Hollywood and all that good stuff coming out in full force for a 30-year-old upstart, and this individual doesn't win, wow. What does that say about you, Democrat Party? What does that say going forward in 2018 for your hopes and dreams of taking back the House and taking back the Senate, which, that's not going to happen. But if it does, and I'm talking about the win for today, because I don't think any gains or takeover in taking back of majorities is going to happen in either House or Senate in 2018, just because they won a race today in Georgia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, just keep an eye on the race. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people even knew about this race. But now, seeing that it is here, and the Democrats are pumping out George Soros money, putting celebs like Samuel L. Jackson in radio ads, then you know that they're really desperate, that they're really grasping for straws, that they have no other outlet, no other avenue to go down except for pull out all the stops for a congressional seat. One congressional seat in Georgia. Now, I want to go ahead and briefly talk about this whole Trump tax return phenomenon. And it's still going on, ladies and gentlemen. I believe there's still some more Trump tax return protests coming up this weekend. Now, I'm thinking to myself, and I was talking to my wife last night, we were talking about it, and she said, what do you think he should do? To be honest, he should release his tax returns just to get these idiots off his back. just to say, okay, here you go, shut the F up and let me go about doing the job of being the president of the United States of America. Now, this is going to continue to hang over his head, just like, ladies and gentlemen, it's not too far-fetched and far off with the whole releasing of Obama's birth certificate, which a lot of us till this day does not believe that is his actual birth certificate, but I'm not going to go down that birther route. That's just my opinion. But Trump, I think, really needs to just go ahead and release his tax returns and just put this issue to bed, put it underneath the ever-growing, ever-flowing, ongoing, lunatic, maniacal efforts of the left to try and somehow dethrone him in some way, form, or fashion. So, ladies and gentlemen, my opinion, Trump, release him. Get these people off your back, because they are going to continue, and I mean continue, to go down this path of lunacy. So, but if you don't, is it a big deal? Is it a big deal, ladies and gentlemen, for Trump to not release his tax returns? Because I know people have combated that particular stance in regards to, well, Obama didn't release any of his collegiate records, any of his other vital records that people want to see that other presidents have. So, I don't know. I just think, honestly, and this is just me, I think he should release them. I don't think the end of the world is happening, like Nancy Pelosi said last night, in regards to if Trump doesn't release his tax returns, that our national security and our democracy is at risk. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Moonbat numbnut Princess Nancy Pelosi said, and I'm paraphrasing, if President Trump does not release his tax returns, ladies and gentlemen, his tax returns, that our national security and democracy is at risk. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you have individuals like Nancy Pelosi, and we all know she is dumber than a bag of rocks, but when they continually make statements like this, you have to look at yourself and say, is this going to be, ladies and gentlemen, the future, and I mean the future of the Democrat Party? Is this how it's going to continue to unfold as to how it's going to be on the left in this country? I don't see anything on the horizon that is showing that they're not going to turn away from the ways and paths that they're going down right now. It's better for us on the right, definitely, because the world will continue to see how completely and utterly off the reservation, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a pun. I ain't going after people who are Native American, but you know, the Democrats, hey, I have friends who are Democrats, and we don't go at it like some of us do on social media. Some of us tend to not realize, and I'm not throwing out names, but some people just don't realize that within their own Democrat Party, that leftist liberal ideology has taken over the Democrat Party. And they don't want to come to terms. They don't want to, see what's right in front of their faces. They don't want to open up their eyes. They don't want to see through the fog, if they want to call it. What is going on? Case in point, had a large discussion in regards to this idiot Tariq Nasheed, this so-called black leader in the black community. Black man talking about how, these white supremacists are going to take advantage of this deranged lunatic in Cleveland who took the life of an innocent 74-year-old man for no reason other than to take his life. There was no reason for it. Okay, It had nothing to do with white supremacy. And for this idiot, Tariq Nasheed, to try and take advantage of, try and shine more light on him and his so-called movement on the back of a dead 74-year-old black man, taken out by a nut job, another black man. No, he wants to talk about white supremacy and white supremacists taking advantage of the situation. And I'm thinking to myself, and that all of us black people need to be on guard. Wait a minute. What happened, numbnut? A black man killed another black man. So why are you talking about white supremacy and white supremacists, and black people need to keep up their guard? Yeah, oh, no, not just black people. All people need to keep up their guard, because this lunatic seems to want to kill anybody at any time. Black, white, Haitian, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Irish, Italian. It doesn't matter with this guy. And this gentleman worked at a mental health facility, ladies and gentlemen, taking care of the mentally ill. So this mentally ill man, which obviously he is, I'm not trying to hear these backstories about him having problems with his girlfriend, having problems with his family, financial problems. Hey, everyone has those issues. But are we all going out and shooting people, randomly shooting people on Facebook Live? No. That takes someone that's got issues up here. So please spare me the excuses, spare me the scenarios as to why this individual, who still, for 2 nights in a row, has been able to fall asleep and wake up and go out about his business. I don't understand how in the world, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, that this man has not been caught yet. He doesn't seem to be right in the head, and I can't see him having the capacity, the mental capacity, to plan out and ultimately have a plan in place, ladies and gentlemen, that would allow him to escape the authorities. Excuse me, I apologize. Let me cover up my mic. Excuse me. Wow. This is the reason why I need to have water constantly in my car, and my wife keeps yelling at me, and this is the reason. I don't even understand. I'm getting a little animated and my voice is raising, but why am I having the need to cough? I don't know. Side tangent, side speak, side topic. I apologize. But ladies and gentlemen, to get back to the topic at hand, in regards to this lunatic from Cleveland and idiots like Tariq Nasheed taking advantage of a situation where it doesn't even have an inkling or sprinkling of white supremacy whatsoever. But let's go ahead and make an outlandish statement, so people like myself, unfortunately, have to clap back at him, and he's getting more attention from it. So I think in the future, I'm not even going to respond. I'm not even going to allow myself the wherewithal and knowing myself, because yeah, I clap back at individuals like this because you have to. But in this case, seeing that it is so out of bounds, why should I? Why give this man, and I'm using that word loosely, Tariq Nasheed, this black man who, for whatever reason, feels the need to just say outlandish things that has nothing to do with the situation at hand, that has nothing to do with what's going on, with whatever story that he may be trying to prop himself up with. Because that's all it is, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to put himself out there in the limelight to gain more support from these black individuals out here, these white liberals out here, who have no understanding as to what the real world is all about in regards to how things are being handled from the perspective of most black people. I always preface when it comes to stuff like this, because it's not all of us black people out here acting like an idiot, acting like Tariq Nasheed, who needs, who craves, who needs, who loves the attention. And going forward, ladies and gentlemen, I've talked about this particular topic way longer than I wanted to. But ending this like this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to try and uphold what I'm about to say. When it comes to idiotic individuals, when it comes to media whores like Tariq Nasheed, I'm going to do my best to try and pay them no mind, because that is what they ultimately want. They want our attention. Now, go ahead and move off of that topic, and I'm going to briefly talk about the situation with North Korea. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have an answer for the chubby, numbnut, moonbat Kim Jong-un. There is no remedy for crazy. There is no special potion for nut jobs. So we have to, number one, as people have said in the past, even though the past 8 years under the Obama administration, we played our hand, we've let our enemy know what we're doing. I think a new sheriff is definitely in town, and I think Trump is going to play this in a way where hopefully China and the surrounding area is going to back into a corner where he's going to start behaving. But then again, you can't control crazy. There is no recipe to control crazy. So we look at it like this. We got to keep all of our options on the table in regards to how to handle the situation. Hopefully it doesn't take any intervention militarily on our side. But if it does, there should be no pussyfooting around. Kim Jong-un needs to be taken out. Just like we're taking out ISIS with Moab, we need to take out Kim Jong-un and just wipe him off the face of the earth. Because that's the only way you eradicate crazy, is to wipe it out. Now, a lot of people are concerned, which we should be, because he is a nut job. He can just one day wake up and just start bombing Japan, bombing China, bombing South Korea for no reason, because he's crazy. But we need to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that everything is at our disposal, that everything that we can do diplomatically is done. Do everything that was in our power to make sure that this person, and I'm using that word loosely, this person, Kim Jong-un, doesn't start World War III. And I am, like I said, I am no expert in regards to trying to handle crazy. I don't think anyone is on this planet. But I think ultimately the plan that's been put in place hopefully will work on this crazy, on this amount of crazy. And we just got to keep our fingers crossed that nothing else, and I mean nothing else in regards to him trying to get his hands on a nuclear weapon, him trying to get his hands on these ICBMs that could carry a nuke all the way over here to the continental U.S. All I know is he better get his crazy under control quick. He better take some Xanax, whatever he needs in order to calm himself down before we have to take his ass out. Point blank, end of story. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on a new trajectory in regards to the left and the right, liberal, conservative, sane and insane. You look at over the weekend in Berkeley, once again, with Antifa or Antifa, I don't know how you pronounce it, anti-Trump supporters, just Trump haters in regards to these individuals showing up at freedom of speech rallies and loving our country rallies and anything else that has to do with patriotism. You have these individuals coming out beating up people with skateboards and brass knuckles and pepper spray and everything else that you can think of, ladies and gentlemen. That's not us. That's them. Now there's concerns about some of us on the right who have concealed carry and things of that nature showing up with their weapons, who are going to start using these weapons. And I said this months ago. I said this right after the riot started happening after Trump won. They're going to take it there, ladies and gentlemen, and some individual out there is not going to take it lightly. They are going to have their weapon on them, and they are going to deem themselves vulnerable to the fact that they have to defend themselves with that weapon. And when people start dying, they're going to blame us once again on the right because we love our guns. We got to have our guns. We love to use our guns. No, jackasses. Once again, painting us in a light that isn't true. No, you started it. If you don't start none, there won't be none, ladies and gentlemen. So, for you on the left who feel that you have this notion that, number one, I have to continue to just be a complete and utter nut job in order to get my point across, then you go about and do what you have to do, but do it in a peaceful manner. I don't know how hard why is it can't be that you can't position yourself, that you can't allow yourself the vehicle of peaceful protest, ladies and gentlemen. Peaceful. It's not that hard. It is not that difficult to show up at a function and let your voice be heard. I don't have a problem with that. But just do it in a peaceful manner. That is all I ask. That is all most of us ask. I am about to end this session, this wonderful morning edition of the Dan Adams Show. May God once again, and as I say, may He continue to bless you and your families. May He keep you and your families safe. And as I'm about to end this, I think I was a little cockeyed this whole time on the video, but it's all good. May He continue to bless you and your families. May He keep you and your families safe. May He guide you upon the path of righteousness and hate self-plugging, self-promoting. But as you can see, Penguins, let's end it tonight. Let's make it a sweep against the Columbus Blue Jackets so we can get some rest and get some of our other guys who are on the shelf back into the fold. May God bless you and yours. May He keep you and your family safe. Till next time. Until next time. Don't know when that'll be. Well, Lord willing, it will be tomorrow morning. Or maybe this evening. You never know. Peace.
This poem is for the woman I love. I knew not what love was till you awoke within my heart. We are now together forever, never shall we part. I will track where you are, I'll decide whom you see. Remember, sweetheart, you belong only to me. So do what I say and don't do anything dumb, or I may have to hit you until you are numb. If you tell another soul, well, that will just make me mad. 'cause I tolerate you, and for that you should be glad. There's one more feeling I must express to you, honey. Don't ever let me catch you touching my money.
Some relationships are not as they appear. That's because domestic abuse is often hidden. Join the Women's Center and Shelter in the effort to end abuse early on and help us provide emergency sanctuary to those who most need your protection. To donate, visit the Women's Center and Shelter at wcscanhelp.org.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. North Korea is vowing weekly missile tests after saying nuclear war could break out at any time.
What happens if North Korea launches another missile?
We'll find out.
President Trump talking to Fox's Ainsley Earhardt, who also asked about criticism he's softening his stance with China's leader.
What am I going to do? Start a trade war with China in the middle of him working on a bigger problem, frankly, with North Korea?
The president does not have great respect for the Democrat in a special election today for a congressional seat in Georgia, who's run on a campaign of make Trump furious, hold him accountable. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, there are 18 candidates in this primary, but one name has been rising to the top, Democrat Jon Ossoff. Hollywood has been out backing the Democrats in this race, and now President Trump is throwing his weight around in an effort to boost Republicans. He took to Twitter saying Republicans must get out today and vote in Georgia 6. Force runoff, an easy win. Dim Ossoff will raise your taxes, very bad on crime and Second Amendment, adding that Ossoff would be a disaster in Congress, saying very weak on crime and illegal immigration, bad for jobs and wants higher taxes, say no. Dave.
Rachel, Arkansas still hoping to execute 5 convicted killers by the end of the month, but 2 more death row inmates were spared in court yesterday, one just minutes before his injection. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has this live.
Today, for the second time, the U.S. Supreme Court gave a break to Don Davis. The death row inmate was within hours of execution in 2010 when granted a reprieve. Then it happened again yesterday. He'd already gotten his last meal, too. It was complete with strawberry cake. Davis and another inmate, Bruce Ward, were supposed to be the first 2 executions in Arkansas in nearly 12 years. Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson had set an aggressive schedule of as many as 8 executions by the end of the month. That's when the state's supply of a key lethal injection drug expires, Dave.
Tanya, day 3 of the manhunt for Steve Stevens, the man who recorded a killing and posted it on Facebook. $50,000 reward nationwide. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced. Amid all the worry about North Korea's nukes, Vice President Pence has gone to our ally, Japan.
Our commitment is unwavering, and our resolve could not be stronger.
Pence is also talking about security and trade in Tokyo. President Trump will go to Wisconsin today to continue his Buy American, Hire American theme.
The president sees the visit to the Kenosha, Wisconsin headquarters of Snap-on Tools as a chance to highlight the importance of manufacturing to the nation's future. White House spokesman Sean Spicer.
Snap-on is a prime example of a company that builds American-made tools with American workers for U.S. taxpayers.
The visit comes as the president faces an approval rating of just 41% in Wisconsin, a state he barely won in November. The visit also takes him to the congressional district of House Speaker Paul Ryan, who won't be joining the president because he's on a bipartisan congressional trip overseas. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
I-20 has reopened this morning in Georgia, this after the part of the interstate buckled up. Road damage that sent a motorcyclist flying 200 feet, critically injuring him. That highway shut down yesterday in DeKalb County, added to the recent traffic problems when a bridge partially collapsed in Atlanta. A homeless drug user blamed for that is due back in court today.
Investigators say it was 39-year-old Basil Ellaby whose use of crack cocaine last month while standing under a raised bridge of Atlanta's Interstate 85 caused a fire so destructive it brought the elevated highway down, causing major traffic disruption and gave firefighter crews a lengthy battle. But now Ellaby, who is homeless, has a defense team. 5 attorneys have stepped forward to represent Ellaby on charges of drug use and criminal damage. The attorneys, all working pro bono, who all often take high-profile cases, say prosecutors are trying to railroad a homeless man. Eben Brown, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Prosecutors are trying to railroad a homeless man. Eben Brown, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Yes. Come on. Hip hop soul. Yeah. Let me take your hand and I'll lead take your hand and I'll lead the way, bringing hip-hop soul to the break of day. Just leave those worries far behind and feel the heat of the summertime. Stutter, stepping into the first rhyme interlude as I bring you the food that keeps you in the mood for this hip-hop soul lose control. The betterment of all mankind, totally dependent on this rhyme, searching for the next big thing, melodic and rhyme, and yes, he can sing. Let me take your hand and I'll lead the way, bringing hip-hop soul to the break of day. Just leave those worries far behind and feel the heat of the summertime. Let me take your hand and I'll lead the way, bringing hip-hop soul to the break of day. Just leave those worries far behind and feel the heat of the summertime. Get into it, full recognition, purposely built up my soul's transmission. Rough, rugged, and raw, let's explore. The name is show enough, and that's for sure. Replicate, demonstrate, overcompensate, deviate, let me penetrate, infiltrate, somewhat complicate, but I'm keeping it real. Let me take your hand and I'll lead the way, bringing hip-hop soul to the break of day. Just leave those worries far behind and feel the heat of the summertime. Let me take your hand and I'll lead the way, bringing hip-hop soul to the break of day. Just leave those worries far behind and feel the heat of the summertime.